Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you all so much for joining us for today's session, which is on the importance of strength training, right? So I'm sure, you all must have wondered about strength training and why it is so important for diabetes. So today we're going to just talk to you about what is strength training, why is it important for diabetes, and how it can help you, in keeping your sugar levels under control, right? So for that, we have with us health coach Aishwarya here. So she will be taking today's session and talking to you all about strength training and why it is beneficial for diabetes, right? She's a health coach here at Sugarfit, like I said, and she has years of experience, and she also has a lot of clients. Who have seen a lot of results and have reversed diabetes. And not only that, she's also a yoga instructor as well. So she's the best person to actually ask any doubts if you have. So if you have any questions, any throughout the session, if you have any doubts, any questions you want, answers to, please feel free to drop your questions in the comments, and we will take up your questions at the end of the session, right? So over to you, Aishwarya. Thank you so much for joining us today, and go ahead.
Hello, everyone. It's really nice to see all of you here. Hope I'm audible and visible clearly. Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so today I will be guiding you with a little bit about strength training. And I know being a festival day for most South Indians today, it's Varma Lakshmi. So I would like to wish everybody a very happy Varma Lakshmi from the team of Sugarfit. So I hope all of you had a good, nice meal in your portion sizes and also did a little walk instead of going and directly sleeping today. I hope all of you had a very good, relaxed day as well. Today, let us talk about strength training, all right? But before I go to that, as I always say in all my sessions, I need this to be an interactive session. Okay, so let us see how many of you here want to have the interactive hands-on learning experience. Okay, so that I can answer all your doubts and queries now, rather than you go back home with the doubts and queries. So all of you who are here, like I can see few of you who have joined. Okay, so do say a hi, a hello. Let's hear what's the energy like in the session today. And depending on that, if there's more energy, I'm going to make sure I give more to all of you, right? More knowledge and more exchange. So it shouldn't be a one-way conversation, okay? So yes, how many of you are here and how many of you see me? And yes, Abhishek, I get a message from you, wonderful. So all of you who are here, drop a message saying hi or hello and tell me how your festival was, if you celebrated. And if many of you have taken leave, how did you enjoy relaxing today? Good evening, Ruchita, Raju, hi, Srilata. Never thought of strength training. Okay, then this is a very good session. I think you would be doing that, but you wouldn't know that it is strength training. But let's discuss it today. Siva says hi. Okay, Coutinho, Michael Coutinho says hi. I hope I'm saying your names right. If not, please do forgive me. Anupama, Ravi, Ashok Vasudevan, Ashok Reddy. Okay, this is really nice. So I think we'll just give a minute for everybody to settle in. Okay, and we will work on it. And I'm sure many of you have heard of Sugarfit from multiple places. It is about working on your diabetes and sugar levels and reversing diabetes, right? So one part of that reversal process also, of course, is one pillar is your physical exercise. Okay, so let us today understand one part of that physical exercise that is really going to help you to reverse diabetes and maintain diabetes. Okay, so I see so many of you here. It's really nice. I really like a very interactive session because it makes more sense. Makes more sense for it to be a two-way learning process than just a one-way learning process. Okay, Meena, Anthony, Purva, Nita, Subramaniam, okay, Sagar, Dipti, wonderful. All of you, welcome again, hearty welcome. So today what we will do is go through with a short PPT, but of course that is going to be just the baseline, but we're going to be talking so much more about uh, exchanging knowledge, questions, queries. That's where the real learning is. Okay. So how many of you are pumped? Let's start. And if you are, say, yes, I'm ready. Okay. And then we will go ahead. How many of you are super pumped to start off, learn about, thank you so much, Dr. Lakshmipati. That's very nice of you. Okay. So how many of you are super pumped about knowing what you can do with something called strength training? Okay, Indrani Chakraborty, I see you. I think I've seen you before too. Welcome back. It's really nice to see you on repeated sessions. Okay. And perfect. How many of you are super pumped? Say hi. Yes, I am. I want to learn. Okay. Yes, that's a very important question that Pavan has put up. Physical training, post-physical training, sugar levels rise. We will answer that. All of you keep all your questions safeguarded till the end. Okay. So that during the session, if I'm able to answer some of them, I will do that. And by the end of the session, we'll have a lot more time to answer those questions that you already have and probably that you will get as well, right? Perfect. So, right, I got only a few yeses and me, hi, that's it. I'm like, if this is the energy, I'm not going to, start the session. I want some more. Yes, we're ready. Yes, we're ready. Okay, so that we can start off with the bang. Perfect. Now, great. All right. So let me share my screen first thing so that you can see what strength training is, and then we can start. Okay. Present the screen. Perfect. So here it is. Can all of you see this? Yes. Today we're going to talk about strength training and specifically its need for diabetes. All right. So with that, okay, we will be discussing what exactly is strength training. What is strength training? Okay, in the first place. Second, why do we need to strength train? What exactly? What is the need of it? And third, how much should we do? Like, should we do it every day? Should we do it 1 hour, 2 hours a day? What exactly is it? And how much is required, especially for each age group? Okay. And then we're also going to understand the before and after of training. So strength training doesn't mean just that one part of it, but what is the before and after of it? Okay, so I have been with clients over 4.5 years now. So I can tell you that there are certain things when you do, it has massive impact on your health. Okay, and some processes or interventions that you do that has massive impact on your sugar levels as well. I've seen this over a course of time, and I can tell you with conviction that strength training is one such thing. Okay, massive impact on your body, massive impact on your tone, and a massive impact on your diabetes levels. Okay, so this is something that I would request everybody to have like a takeaway and learn something from it so that you can go and practice it. And I'll tell you how you can practice it and put it in your everyday life as well. Okay, so first let us start with basic understanding of what is strength training. Strength training is nothing but a type of exercise that engages your muscles. Okay, majorly muscle engagement. Okay, which also is attached to your bones and joints, right? So it is going to work on large muscles, bones and joints. And what is it going to do? It is going to offer resistance to your muscles. So if we are going to move your hands up and down like this is normal movement, engaging your muscle, your large muscles and your bones, joints. Now, in strength training, we're going to say use the same movement, add a little resistance to it. Okay, that means a little weight. And we're going to do the same exercise. Now, it could be some very basic exercises, which we will discuss, or it could be exercises with weights, with a band, okay, or with kettlebells, etc. Any kind of machine or any kind of weight or any kind of body weight. Even your body weight training becomes a form of resistance training. Okay, by that I understand that body weight, many of you must be doing yoga as well. So if you're doing certain yoga asanas, that is also going to work as your resistance exercises or strength training exercises. Now, the major idea about doing this is to activate your muscle. Muscle is one such, you know, in the body, one such the muscles, the joints, when you're comparing all this, the organs, the muscles take up the maximum amount of energy for little, very little activation. Okay, so for example, if you're going to move your hand up and down, maybe the joints will not use as much energy, but your muscle will need a lot of energy to move it up and down. And if you're suppose doing an ab training, so all the abdomen and your lower back muscles are going to take more energy than your organs, right? So muscle is required to be activated because it takes more energy so that you can work more on glucose burning. Yes, this is understood, right? So let's see if there are any questions, queries, please do drop them. And if you have understood it, you can definitely tap on yes. Okay, so just say yes, 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 got it. And if you have any doubts, queries, you should let me know. Okay, this is the first major thing I want you to understand. Okay, and that is where we will be working on going ahead. If you've got this right, then nothing right. Okay, perfect. So if there are any messages, please do help me understand, text or any doubts and queries. Okay. All right. So I don't think there are any questions and queries. I will add a little bit of Hindi so that even you can understand. So resistance training or strength training सिर्फ ये चीज है कि हमारी मसल्स को एक्टिवेट करेंगी, क्योंकि मसल्स बहुत सारे ग्लूकोज लेते हैं और ये हम कर सकते हैं थोड़ी वेट ऐड करके, इवन 1 kg बॉडी वेट या फिर कोई रेसिस्टेंस बैंड या अपने आप बॉडी वेट भी ऐड कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, so this is resistance training. Perfect. So I see a lot of yeses. So I think the base is set, right? Let's go and move on to the next bit. Okay, examples. How many of you thought that these are not strength training, and how many of you do it without the knowledge that these were strength training exercises, right? So pull-ups, push-ups, that's something we can do, even wall push-ups for the elderly or people who cannot do push-ups. You can start with wall push-ups. You can do squats, deadlifts, lunges, planks, okay, biceps curls, extension, any free weight training, weight machines, right? There are a lot of machines in the gym, you can use that. Even you can get these basic resistance bands at home and use it. Then you also have these cables. I've seen many of my users also have used cables or used cables even now. So you have like a handle at the end, and then you can pull, extend, and just use that resistance to train medicinal balls, or even, as I told, your own body weight. If you're doing basic squats, or even if you're doing wall push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, these all act as strength training. Okay, so can you, how many of you have been doing this and know about this, so that this is something that all of us can do at home? And I'm sure all your coaches, if you're with already sugarfit, would have given you something called the nitric oxide dump exercises, which is also a set of strength training. So it activates your muscles. There are squats and push-ups, so that also you can do nitric oxide. Okay, so this is majorly your strength training. So I'm just going to, at this point, take up a few questions that I see. Okay, so one person asks about what about sports? Sports are majorly when you're playing a sport, like if it includes running, it's majorly going to be cardio. And you need to train to go play a sport. That training is resistance training, like when you're doing like your warm-ups, etc. So they make you do lunges, hip openers, that becomes resistance training. But the actual sport majorly is not strength, it is usually cardio, unless and until you're talking about weightlifting as a sport. Okay. So another person says, I'm a senior citizen. I've been going to gym and spend actively 90 minutes daily in the gym doing cardio and weight training. Okay. So yes, DA Saga, I think your coach will be the right person to guide you with it, because today we only want to stick to strength training, questions related to strength training only. And of course, not very personalized questions because I won't be able to guide you with that. I'm really happy that you're able to hit the gym for 1.5 minutes and you're able to control your diabetes so well. Just keep at it and I'm sure you'll get better. Okay. All right. So how many hours a day before for 66 years? We will discuss that going ahead. All right. Perfect. So, right, let's go ahead. Now, what does strength training do to your body? This is something that I think we started with. Why should we do strength training, right? What does it do to our body? Why is it important? Why do we have to do it? Why should we work on it? First and foremost, strength training, as I told you, activates your muscles. By that, your muscle becomes a glucose pulling machine. It absorbs all the glucose and starts burning it. So there is no point where excess glucose is going to be converted into fat, right? And the problem with diabetes is also that there is no, the insulin sensitivity is low. There's a lot of resistance. By that I mean the cell, right? There's a cell and there's a lot of glucose outside. Now, the cell is not able to accept the glucose because there is a problem in the cell for insulin sensitivity. The insulin sensitive, there's a receptor on each cell. Now, that receptor is either covered by fat and it is not working, or the cell is covered by fat, therefore the receptor can't come, then the insulin can't sit on the receptor, open the door for glucose to come in. This process is not happening. So now if we start strength training, it aids in more fat burning and glucose burning, thereby burning the fat around the cells, thereby making it more accepting towards the insulin receptor, which comes and sits, insulin sits on it, easily opens the door, glucose goes and gets utilized, thereby lowering the insulin resistance. So first and foremost, it is going to utilize, when you strength train, the muscle is going to utilize more glucose. And when you strength train, the muscle is activated, it's not only going to utilize it during that period of exercise, but also hours after. Okay, that is why when somebody asked, I feel like a super low after after strength training, my glucose levels go high. So what happens is, again, your body is going to be utilizing your active, so it will go high, and then later the muscle is activated, it's going to use all the glucose and bring down your glucose levels. So it helps manage your glucose levels. Second, it improves glucose storage. Now, I told you that whole process, right? If there is a cell, it needs an insulin receptor to come in, after which the insulin will come sit in it, open the door for glucose to enter the body. This is clear. Now, when this is happening, okay, the glucose is going to be utilized, or it is going to be stored as easy burning. Instead of, if there's a lot of glucose in the blood, the liver is going to convert it into fat. So that mechanism is stopped. Thereby, two things. Okay, here we've done, it is lowering blood glucose levels, improves storage, and also reduces insulin resistance. So improves insulin response, the whole cycle that I explained to you. The whole cycle, insulin resistance is reduced, and if the whole process of fat creation also is reduced, because now you're working out and it is going to be utilized in your system. The glucose is being utilized. There is no fat consumption. Therefore, any harmful belly fat is reduced. Okay, I think I will also explain this once in Hindi for all the clients in North, okay, or who understand Hindi. पहले चीज हम जो भी खाना खाते हैं तो वो सब ग्लूकोज बन के ब्लड में बॉडी में घूमता रहता है, राइट? तो अभी डायबिटीज में क्या होता है, अभी जो सेल है उसके पूरा ओके देयर इज फैट, पूरा फैट होगा. तो फैट क्यों है? क्योंकि बहुत सारा ग्लूकोज, इंसुलिन रेसिस्टेंस इंक्रीज हो चुका है, तो इंसुलिन नहीं ले रहा है सेल, सो ग्लूकोज सेल के अंदर नहीं जा रहा, इसलिए वो सारा जो ग्लूकोज है वो फैट में कन्वर्ट हो रहा है. अभी आप एक्सरसाइज करेंगे तो ये सारा ग्लूकोज धीरे धीरे बॉडी में यूटिलाइज हो जाएगा, और जो सारा फैट है पूरे सेल के ऊपर वो सब भी यूटिलाइज होके इंसुलिन आके सेल में इजीली बैठता है और सेल को खुल के पूरा ग्लूकोज सेल के अंदर बेच देता है. आप एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हो तो सारे ग्लूकोज यूज तो हो रहा है, पूरा वो फैट मैकेनिज्म, ग्लूकोज जो फैट में स्टोर हो रहा है वो नहीं होगा, ठीक है। तो पूरा वो बेली फैट कट कर सकते हैं आप। इंसुलिन रेसिस्टेंस, आई एम सॉरी, इंसुलिन रेसिस्टेंस, सो द होल इंसुलिन रेसिस्टेंस पूरा जो है वो भी कट हो रहा है। अभी इंसुलिन सेंसिटिविटी बढ़ेगा और आपको पूरे बॉडी में कम मेडिसिन यूज करके आप डायबिटीज कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं। ओके, next, another most important thing that we all have to consider is muscle loss and bone loss. So as in how, you remember there is a lot of experiments talking about this, that if I am cycling, suddenly I've started cycling, and I think many of you would have noticed this as well. Okay, now once you start cycling, you feel pain in your glutes, in your legs. Suddenly you out of the blue start cycling, okay? You feel pain in your glutes, in your leg, right, in your calf muscles. What has happened? These muscles have got activated in your knees. But as in how you continue to do it, your legs become stronger. Your joint pains will vanish. Okay, and your glute will get stronger. You can cycle for longer distance. What has happened? The body has gone and started repairing the process, repairing the muscle and bone which was active. Due course, what is happening, because you're using your muscle and wherever you were having joint pain, etc., it has started recovering. Okay, it has started getting stronger. So now, just because you have started utilizing and being active and physically fit, you're training your muscle and bone, there is going to be strengthening of that muscle and bone. Thereby, you're going to protect your muscles and prevent bone loss. Okay, the same thing, especially in strength training compared to your Zumba or your cardio, okay, or any other sport where you have a more higher chance of injury compared to strength training, right? Higher chance of injury when you're doing cardio, etc. Okay, during strength training, if you have the right form and the right guidance as well, this is much better to improve your bone strength and your muscle strength, because that weight that is being added either as weights or your resistance band or your body weight is just going to make you get better and stronger. So this is one thing, that against the cardio and Zumba, you will be improving your bone and your muscle. And of course, any exercise, you will lose weight, right? And you will also, with strength training, because you're adding weights, you're going to improve on the tone. Like the picture I put here is basically that, because you're going to improve tone, the fat is going to go away. Weight loss can happen because of two things. One is the fat and the other is the muscle loss. Now, we don't want muscle loss because that's protein that's going to strengthen you, it's attached to your bone. You don't want any muscle loss. But in strength training, there won't be muscle loss, but there will be loss of fat only. And unnecessary excess water. The first time you're exercising, you're going to have some water loss. Okay, that weight will go away. That is good. But with strength training, you're going to be losing out fat more and becoming more trim and improving muscle tone. Okay, so that is a very good thing that we have to work with strength training as a positive that we have to use. Okay, and also going to prevent chronic organ damage. Now, this I've added especially for diabetes, because when you're managing diabetes, okay, and you're managing your glucose control, there's glucose control, you're going to be at a very lower possibility of retinopathy, that's your eyes, or nephropathy, that burning of feet sensation, and sorry, nephropathy, it's the kidney issues, or neuropathy. I'll tell you why this happens, because glucose is a huge molecule, right? Glucose is a huge molecule. Now, this huge molecule is going to go around in your blood, and whatever touches excess glucose, it is going to scratch on the surface or harm the cell. Now, when that happens, right, it's going to cause a damage to your HbA1c, what we check, red blood cells, how much is it damaged? That is exactly what we're checking. Similarly, other organs are also going to be damage. Now, to stop that, what should we do? We should remove glucose from the body, excess glucose. How are we going to do that? Exercise. And strength training is a very good form to do that. Okay. So these are all the, plus points of it. But what I want to do is now take a short break here and answer the questions that you have dropped me. Okay, so how many hours a day? I will come to that. So minimum how much time of exercise? I will come to that. I want to increase my weight. What type of strength training? Vinu Lakshman, definitely if you're going to work on muscle gain, you should do weights. Okay, going to the gym is going to help you. And also add a little bit of yoga and body training, right? Body weight training. Badminton is very much to do with cardio. So training before and after badminton helps. You need to strength train again for badminton. I've seen a lot of members, a lot of my clients who play badminton tend to lose more muscle because it's very much cardio. You're running around and it's quite extensive and you're using one arm maximum. So you need to train the other arm also so that both muscle sides of your body are trained equally and you don't want one side of your body to be weaker than the other. That is one thing. And cardio during badminton is very high. So your glucose levels are very high for a long time. And there are chances of it have hypos quite a few times that I've noticed with my clients as well. So what you can do is probably if you're doing 1 hour of badminton, just spend about 20-30 minutes to strength train at least 3 times a week. Okay, swimming is also good, but it's not completely strength training because when you're in water, the buoyancy is going to keep you up, right? So you can do swimming, but again, to do swimming, you have to strengthen your muscles so you can do better at it. Again, strength training is required. That's great, Deepak. Deepak Bhatnagar, really nice. Only walking is not enough to control sugar levels, BPG92, no. This is something that we've been discussing extensively even at Sugarfit, is that walking is one, there's a lot of cardio when you're walking, right? Like, because this I mean if you're brisk walking, if you're strolling, no. So if you're brisk walking, it adds as a cardio. And for somebody who's looking at strength training, muscle gain, I don't think just cardio or just walking is enough. Now just think of it, when you're walking, you're utilizing only your arms slightly and your legs. But what about the rest of your body, your upper body, your back, which is major because we all sit and work for a long period of time. Your spine. Okay, what about the muscles there? Okay, so you need to train that as well. And just one form of exercise has never proven to be beneficial to anybody. And now, if you see, back in those days, we used to have so many kinds of exercises or physical activity, right? We would probably be involved in farming, we're walking for very long distance to get basic foods, we're cycling, so many things. But these days, we're at least sitting for a minimum of 10 to 12 hours. This is excluding sleeping in the day, right? So we are hardly doing anything. And as in how you go and read about study after study, somehow people are just reducing the number of steps, number of hours for exercise. It's just becoming convenience. Okay, but nobody is really trying to be their fittest best. If you're not going to be your fittest best today, then probably 5 years down the lane, you can't do anything about your health, right? You have to push yourself to be the best you can every day in terms of your health, because that's the only wealth we all have in control of. If you're going to crib about that now, there's nothing we can do about it later. So don't keep reducing or doing the bare minimum. Half an hour walk, that's more than you won't even break a sweat with it, right? So try to push yourself, maybe walking 3 days and then you can do strength training 3 days. Don't settle for bare minimum. That's definitely, your body is capable of much more. 4 hours you dance and you come back, you will be fine the next day. But do we do it? No, because we think bare minimum is enough. No, your body can take much more and it's going to be active and happier. And if I just have to recall something that probably many of you would connect to, if you have seen that movie Piku, right? she's already constantly telling her father to sit down, rest, don't do that, don't do this. But in the end of the movie, when he goes for that one round of cycling, comes back and he tells that I was the most happiest. Today has been a very nice day for me. And he is suffering with constipation in the whole movie. And he says, this is the first time I utilize washroom very easily. And I felt man mein shanti. So he was capable of doing that and see how his body reacted very nicely to it. So that all we need more, we can do more. Don't settle to just walking because I'm saying walking so many times. Okay, walking is bare minimum, won't do much. Okay, so how about shuttle badminton? Will it help bring glucose levels down? Yes. So shuttle badminton, yes, of course. It is not going to, as I told you, one of it is that yes, for people who are struggling with diabetes control, you have to take a consent actually. It depends on what levels of diabetes you have because badminton is hypercardio. We don't want to be pushing your body. So whenever you exercise, this is with regards to the first question that we also got is that whenever you exercise, because your body is active and your muscles, like hands, they need that energy, right? So what is it going to do? It's going to bring out a lot of glucose to the hands and legs so that in the blood, right? So that you can utilize it, you can run, you can do your activity. But in case of people with diabetes and with the HbA1c above 8, the glucose levels is already at 250, 300. Now, if you're going to do something like this as a hypercardio, okay, which is going to go beyond 350, 400. And I've seen some people, it touches even 500. Now, that can be very dangerous. Okay, so that can be very dangerous because you could go into a diabetic coma. So we don't want to do that. Such high levels of glucose is not recommended. So if your levels of glucose below 7.5, which is safe, please get a green signal from your doctor. Get your glucose levels monitored by your health coach. Okay, only then you can go and perform these hypocardio activities if you want to do badminton. But until then, what you can do is we never recommend any exercise if your glucose levels are above 350. Okay, if it is below, then you should probably start with basic strength training, yoga, something to calm you down, light walks. If you have glucose levels above 350, don't go for brisk walks, light walks. Start with your medication, lifestyle changes, bring it down, and then when things are better, you can go and work on your badminton. Okay. And that is definitely going to help you burn more glucose and then manage your weight, all of that. Okay. And then we have Pavan saying, what would be the good time for strength training in reducing fasting levels? Yeah. So strength training, you can either do it in the morning or in the night. So whichever you prefer, morning as soon as you wake up or night or evening, depending on your timelines. But for fasting sugars, it's always best. There are a lot of things we have to consider. So for fasting sugars, better to do it in the evening around 8 o'clock, then have a meal and then relax. So 7 to 8 you work out, by 8:30 you finish your dinner and then check your glucose levels and go to bed. After dinner also you can take like a short walk so that your fasting is under control. We need to monitor that quite a bit. Okay, and 77, what should the intensity and frequency of strength training be? Okay, so I will again take a pause here and I will shift to some of the things that I will tell you with regards to when you should do and what, so that most of your answers that are coming up can be answered. Works? Perfect. Okay. So many of you have asked me how much of strength training should be there. What is your magic portion for strength training? What is that exact golden number that you need for strength training? Okay. So first foremost thing that a basic requirement is at least 3 to 5 days a week of a minimum of 30 to 45 minutes of strength training only. It's not your warm up and your cool down. Do not include that. You need a warm up of 5 to 10 minutes to prepare your muscle to the strength training of it, and then you have to cool down or stretch your muscles, get rid of the lactic acid. Okay, post the training. Apart from that, apart from the cool down and warm-ups, you have to do at least 30 to 45 minutes a day, just 3 to 5 days a week. Just 3 to 5 days a week. So if you're doing that, Saturday, Sunday definitely is free for most of you. So Saturday, Sunday, 2 days done. You just have to figure out another 2, 3 days in between, which is easy, right? Because not all of us are working every other day 12 hours. So somewhere if you can squeeze in 120 minutes, the best thing that I always tell my clients, which has worked for them and for me, is that I will spread my mat in the night. I keep my clothes ready in the night. So the minute I wake up, all I have to do is just wear them and get on the mat. You don't have much of thinking to do. Okay, the moment you're like, today I will do it at 8 o'clock. And then when 8 o'clock comes, you'll be like, I think my day is a little free, so I'll do it at 12. And then again, you'll be like, some meeting came up, so you'll do push it to 5. And then by the time you know, it's already 9. So now you're tired. And it never happens. So don't schedule and keep pushing your schedule. Best thing is to wake up and just finish your exercise. Or you can, if you're doing, exercises in the evening, set up a timeline that, okay, no matter what, at 8:30, I'm going to leave my laptop. I have to hit the gym. Okay, so that is your time. So that's some discipline that we have to build. But 5 days, 4 to 5 days are rather easy to push with the strength training. Somewhere, anywhere you can push that exercise. Okay, so another major important thing that I have seen that people falter with is the before and after of training. By that I mean people are not doing a warm up and people are not doing a proper cool down. Now, you can say, I have a trainer, I'll do it, but sometimes you need to introspect. Okay, some classes that I have seen, they don't do good enough before and after. And what happens? Your body feels tired. Do you have those times where, of course, after an exercise, you should feel a little sore? That's actually a good feeling. Okay, so that's actually nice to feel a little sore after your exercise. But if you're feeling like that for a constant of 4 5 days, you're not recovering. You're feeling like you have a constant low grade fever. That means that something is wrong with you before and after of training, or during your training, your postures are not right. So what should we do? We should start with at least a 10-minute of warm up, meaning what you're increasing your heartbeat, you are making your body feel warm, sweaty, and all pumped up for the exercise. Okay, so that's something we have to do. And after your training, you do a proper cool down. I have given so many exercise links. You will find it on YouTube as well. A proper 10-minute cool down where you're stretching every muscle in your body, okay? Your back, your arms, your legs. This is very important for recovery. So that's what is going to make you go to the next day of workout, right? You can't, if you're very sore, you're not going to go to that next day workout. So these two things are very important. When you do a post training cool down, it makes sure that all the lactic acid from your system is coming out and your body is going to recover fine. All those micro tears that is going to be there when you're lifting weights, doing some training, right, is going to start recovering with the proper cool down. So that is something that I want all of you to concentrate on. So it's not just the exercise, do a proper training, but do a proper post and pre-training as well. And another thing that I see, most people, they won't start at all. Okay, they won't start at all. But once they do, they won't stop. They don't know where to draw the line. And then what happens? There are injuries again. There are injuries. There is again people going into long-term slow recovery, which again will demotivate. And especially with people who are aged or people who are lifting very heavy. Recovery becomes very important and you should know where to draw the line. Okay, listen to your body. What can happen? It can lead to extreme muscle breakdown, or it can lead to a muscle pull, or it could lead to any kind of physical injury, right? Which takes a lot of time to recover from. And we seriously don't want to go to physio, and then we don't want to take 6 to 8 months just recovering from a muscle pull. So be very careful with what you can do and your limits. Okay. And with diabetes, the most important bit is extreme spikes. As I told you, there is something called diabetes coma. After 350, if your glucose levels are above 350 mg per dl, we do not recommend excessive strength training or any training of that matter, especially cardio, badminton. Okay, so we would not recommend that. Why? Because whenever you exercise, the glucose levels will spike even more, so that your body is just giving that glucose to the legs and hands to move, to be utilized. But it can spike even more if it's going to touch 400, 450, sometimes even 500. It could be very bad on your heart, and your body could just enter diabetic coma. Okay, which is not recommended. So work on it slowly. There's no hurry. Okay, you are the most important person thing right now. So work on it slowly. Work on your medications, your lifestyle changes, bring down the glucose levels, and then step up into any other form of exercise. And I've also heard from one of my clients that these days at badminton centers, they're asking for a written consent form, and they also need a consent form from the doctors. Okay, so you need to check your HbA1c levels. You need to check, and especially if you're on insulin, if you're on type 1 diabetic or type 1.5, okay, you're on insulin, then that has to be controlled very well. You have to speak to your nutritionist or health coach and doctor, and then only, go into taking up extremely cardio forms of exercise. It's always better to have a check. And if you have a CGM, it's nothing like it. You can go ahead, monitor how at every exercise your glucose levels are changing, stay whatever best suits you. Okay. And after, as I've also told you, after every exercise, once the glucose levels are really high, okay, and you're exercising, you're utilizing the energy, great. After that, what happens? Your body now is continuously burning. Okay. And your body is also, whenever you exercise, a lot of cortisol drop. There's a reduction in cortisol, stress hormone. And there is, your body is going to just utilize all the glucose, and not excess glucose is not going to come out again because you finish your exercise. You're not stressed as well. You're calm. Your muscles are activated, so glucose is continuously burning, and there's a high chance that it could go into hypo, meaning below 70. Now, for diabetics where they're not able to manage that, this could also be dangerous. So first thing that you do is get your checks done with your glucose levels, HbA1c, continuously monitor it, get a green signal from your health coach and your dietitian and your doctor. Okay, so I will go into last one or two things, okay, before I jump into questions and we sort of end the session. All of you keep all your questions through the session that you have ready, okay, so that we can start shooting questions at me and I'll be able to answer it, and then we can sort of have a very good session and then end it on a high note, okay? So now, again, a lot of clients come to me and say, Ma'am, I really have no time. So all that you've told me is great, but on theory, I can't do it. I am traveling, I'm working for 12 hours a day, I'm sitting, I'm working till 2 in the night, tell me where I'm going to get that time. I have no time to sleep itself, I have kids, I have family, it's just too much. Okay, I understand. All of us have just 24 hours, and all of us are chasing careers, personal goals, etc. But the most important thing for all of this, right? Your career, your family, your wealth goals, your personal goals, all of the one bottom line is it all depends on you, right? You are the center, you're the main source of it. If you are not there, none of this that you're talking about is even going to exist. Okay, so your health has to be maximum priority. There's no other way out of it. Your health, your glucose levels, your physical health, your mental health is the most important thing. First, we need to put ourselves first, only then anything else is going to work around you, right? So if you're going to tell me, I have so many things I don't know how to manage, I can't get in exercise at all, but I will get, say, 3 days, and the other days use this cheat code. Okay, this is called the soleus muscle activation. That's your calf muscle activation. So if you're sitting down and working, right? If I'm sitting on a chair like this and I've put my feet flat on the floor, what do? I lift my feet up and down multiple times in the day. Okay. feet up and down. So I'm going to activate my legs. And then you're going to lift your heel up and down. So you're going to activate your calf muscles. So this is like a cheat code that I give to all my clients. Now, there's a lot of study that proves that these psoas muscles, compared to the rest of your muscles in your body, are activated for a longer period of time. That means if I'm activating my arm muscles, back, glute muscles, thigh muscles, or even abs, they're going to post, the exercise, they're going to work for probably like 2 hours, 3 hours, or even 5 hours as a glucose burning machine. So it's just going to keep taking glucose and burning it because it's activated. But the psoas muscles can burn glucose up to 9 hours. So now this is your cheat code. If you're somebody who's very conscious about fat storage, somebody very conscious about the diabetes, somebody very conscious about PCOS and all kind of lifestyle diseases which have the center point as a glucose metabolism, right? More glucose metabolism, whereas obesity, PCOS, all of this. This is one golden cheat code that you can use, is to constantly tap your feet up and down. You can do it just about 15 minutes a day. It's a little painful. Initially, you will feel the pain, but later you will get used to it. So you can go for longer hours. So this is one thing which you can do, is when you do that, your muscles are going to be activated for long periods of time. And by just sitting, you're going to be burning a lot of glucose. Okay, so that's one thing that you all can do. And I will really recommend that. And we will come to questions in just about a bit. Okay. I hope what we spoke today, I know it's a little fast because there's a lot that I wanted to tell you. And then we had a lot of active people who were very interested in questions, and then who were very interactive. I really love such a team and such a crowd. 96 of you who are online now, thank you so much for being such an active crowd. And I hope all of you are aimed with your questions that we can ask, and questioning is the best way to learn more. Okay, so shall I dive into questions, and have you all prepared questions for me so that we all can learn together? Okay, so I will start with Dr. Lakshmipathi's question on 77. What should be the intensity and frequency of strength training? Please give an example. Sir, if you have already been doing any kind of exercise or yoga, I think the first thing you should do is start with yoga practice and slowly take it up. If you have a trainer, yes, that's well and good. But one more thing that you can do is, if you're already part of Sugarfit, then there is a wellness section in the app, which has exercises especially for elderly clients, which will start you slowly at a beginner level and then slowly take you up. So 3 options: you can do yoga, or you can get a trainer, or you can use like an app which will take you slowly, step by step from beginner level. Look at your strength and what you're able to do, and then take you up. Yeah, that works. All right. Tasneem says, hello, I need help to fix Sugarfit app soon as possible. Okay. So I'm really sorry, Tasneem, that happened. I'm sure somebody from the team will be able to help you with it. Okay. Right. Swimming, many of you have asked. Swimming is a great form of exercise for joint training. I mean, if you have knee pains or any kind of injuries, and that's one great way. But thing is, with swimming, what most people do is they feel super hungry and then they'll go and eat more. So you have to watch what you eat. Swimming is one way to burn a lot of calories in a way that is not going to affect your joints or any of your muscles, so it's not injury prone, okay, unlike weight training. But you can add, like, combine. So don't do only swimming, you can combine it with different things. Swimming also gives a very good muscle tone and helps you burn fat very well. But watch what you eat after you swim. Okay, can we increase C-peptide, and what does it mean? Okay, this is actually a different question. C-peptide is released along with your insulin in the body. So to increase that, you should ideally be increasing the pancreatic function of insulin production. So lifestyle changes is the first major thing that you can work on. Depending on where and what your C-peptide levels are, we can also work with medication, right? So since I joined Sugarfit, you lost muscle on my face. Is it muscle or fat? We'll have to check that. Okay. You might have gone down, the tone might have gone down. It could be water, it could be fat. So we can really do like a body fat analysis or body composition analysis and understand that. Okay, what about skipping? That's just one exercise. Okay, Maroge Rama, that's just one exercise, sir. It is not, so you can't do 1 hour of skipping. That's very dangerous. It can lead to joint and ankle issues. Many people have come back with injuries. Please do not do just that one part as an exercise. That is not something anybody should be doing. Okay, whey protein and creatine, is it recommended? Depends, Abhishek Khanna, what your requirement is. Okay, and fasting is 108. Yeah, 6.3 HbA1c very easily. You can do anything, any form of exercise. So Vinu Lakshman says that his fasting is 125. How do I bring my fasting down? You should talk to a health coach because it requires a lot of customization, understanding your lifestyle, right? So that's really going to help. Okay. How about one has back pain, L4, L5? Please talk to a physiotherapist. Only then start your exercises with the green signal. Okay. Yeah, yes, that really works. It has worked for a lot of clients to already lay the mat down and keep them clothes ready. So they just wake up and go to an exercise. Can a diabetic patient eat dark chocolates? Now, I'm not going to comment on that because if I say yes, everybody is going to go be eating dark chocolate and say, Aishwarya said it, so I'm eating. No, we're not going to do that. Maybe once a month, one piece of about 75% dark chocolate, maybe as a cheat once a while. Okay. Steps climbing is a great form of soleus muscle activation because what I just told you, the cheat code here, right? Activation of the calf muscle and your leg muscles happens when you're climbing stairs. So one thing that I always tell my clients, if they're too busy, they're taking calls, please climb the stairs and take your calls. Or before a meal, after a meal, go take maybe 2-3 rounds of climbing the stairs. That also helps quite a bit. Yes, Meena says her fasting is 96 and postprandial is 113. Is it okay? Yeah, we can work on the postprandial. Okay, how to start for beginners? Beginners, ideally go ahead for something that you enjoy. If you're enjoying dancing, Zumba, yoga, gym, swimming, whatever you enjoy, start with that. Keep mix matching different kinds of workouts so that you know what you really like. And once you mix different sorts of workouts, that's when you'll be able to tell, okay, this is working for me, and then it's going to help you. Start slow. Don't have to become an Olympic athlete overnight. Okay, so start slow, and then you'll be able to do it. Using ketones as energy substrate rather than glucose, will it be a better option? This is a very controversial topic, and I wouldn't comment on it much because it depends entirely on a person. It has to be completely monitored. Ketone, diets. So it has to be completely monitored. Please do not go with it, reading from something online and say, oh, these things are available, so I'm just going to do it. Please don't do that. It really, really needs monitoring. It can be fatal to your body if it doesn't go right. And it can also mess up your entire metabolism. And after that, if you come back to a dietitian, we won't be able to do much about it. Okay, so please talk to a dietitian, have somebody to monitor you completely. And it is only a part of a diet, one of the diet, not something that you should do the rest of your life. So please do not take a chance with it. And I think we just have 5 more minutes, so I'll be taking super important questions. Okay. I've got frozen shoulders. Anupam Verma, please go ahead, start with physio or yoga. That's going to help. Can we do exercise in case of, yes, frozen shoulders? Start with yoga and first physio. So you get that done, release the frozen shoulder, and then we'll be able to work with it. Soleus training immediately after, I guess, Venu Lakshman, you may say immediately after food. Yes. Yeah, not immediately after food. You can do it because it really doesn't matter. If you're sitting, you can do it. And give it about 5-10 minutes or even 20 minutes post your meals. so that your body is not competing between giving blood to your digestive system to digest food and your legs to be active. Give it 20 minutes. That should be safe and comfortable as well. Pranayama, do it on empty stomach preferably, or at least if you're doing it in the night, should at least have 2 hours of gap post your meals. So, and if you're doing it in the morning, give it about half an hour on after empty stomach pranayama, half an hour, and then you can take water or milk or coffee tea. Right. Are you showing pictures of? Okay. So this is what. So you see here. Here there's a soleus muscle. Yeah, this muscle is what I'm talking about. And I don't think you can see my cursor. Yeah, soleus muscle here. That is what I'm talking about. Okay, right. Gastrus muscle. All right. Okay. Any other doubts, queries that I can answer? And I think, Shifa, anything else that you've got, and you can let me know.
Yeah, so Aishwarya, there was one question, I think, by Mr. Amar in the beginning. So he was asking about high triglycerides, right? And fasting of 134. So do you have any suggestions for him? So for high triglycerides and anything that he should be doing?
Yeah, so if I can repeat your question, you said what do we do about high triglycerides and quite 135 fasting, if I'm not wrong, right?
Correct, yes.
So yes. So fasting, of course, I always say have your meals early. Okay, early in the by 7:38, if you can have your meal, that will really help with your fasting. Do not take like milk or anything before going to bed so that your fasting levels improve. You can also take cinnamon powder with a glass of water so that your fasting levels come down. Something else we can do is also take methi seeds, paneer dudhi seeds in the morning on an empty stomach. These things help with your fasting levels. Now, high triglycerides meaning what? They are fat that is produced in the body. So one, cut down on butter, biscuits, bakery items, or even maida sugars. These are all things that can easily get converted into fat. So once you cut that down, you'll be able to stop that excess fat conversion from easy carbs. So that's one. Second, have a lot of fiber in your meals. So you start with a salad or have a lot of fiber, a lot of glucose is not going to get absorbed. So if that absorption stops, your entire fat, producing mechanism will lower down. So these two small things that you can do. Okay, first and foremost is your exercising, of course, as we have discussed today. Second, eat a lot of fiber. Third, cut down on all your processed bakery items, sugars, so that there's no easy carbs to be converted as well. These things will help. For fasting levels, have an early dinner, cinnamon powder with a glass of water every night, or methi seeds and paneer dudhi soaked overnight and taken in the morning also help. Okay. Okay, what weight should we buy for muscle training? Depends completely on you. Start with lower weights if you're starting as a beginner, and then slowly take it up. Okay, please bring information of this down. Okay, I'm really sorry, Dilip Joshi. We are almost at the end of the program. We just have like 2 more minutes left for the whole session. So what you can do is probably go back, and this is anyways there on Facebook Live. You can definitely view it. And if you have any doubts, you can definitely ask your nutrition coach, or you just can drop us a message and on Facebook, and one of us will be there to answer you. Yes.
Yeah.
Paneer
Thank you.
dudhi, other than methi seeds, I spoke about paneer dudhi. Yes, tell me, Shilpa.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Aishwarya. So I was just, going to repeat your point to Mr. Dilip, right? The session is going to stay on YouTube. So if anyone wants to, go ahead and rewatch it, you can certainly do, because we've shared a lot of important information today. And you certainly go ahead and rewatch it if you would like to go, over all the information. But I think, Aishwarya, it's about almost 6 right now. So I think we can end the session here. And I think all the questions were also answered. So that was really nice as well. So I just want to thank you for being so patient and answering all the questions, and also for such a wonderful, presentation. I think this is a topic which I think everyone needs a lot of education on, especially if they have diabetes or pre-diabetes, right? So thank you so much for being here and, educating all of us. It's really, really great. And I just want to also thank all the audience also for being so patient and, staying through and putting all of your questions on the comments. And I think we had some really great questions. So thank you so much for all of that. And yes, anything you would like to say before we end, Aishwarya?
Yeah. So thank you so much for being such patient audience, and also being such people who have been so interactive. I think this is one of the sessions where we got maximum questions from. So really nice that there was a very nice exchange of information. And I see a lot of badminton and swimming enthusiasts in the group. Go ahead and be really active, because that's one easiest way to be super happy, So all the very best, and we'll be catching up for more. So please stay tuned.
Thank you so much, Aishwarya, again, and thank you to all the audience today. Again, we'll be hoping to see all of you next Friday as well. So take care and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aishwarya.